Call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Karati.
Mr. Accomando?
Present.
Mrs. Borelli?
Present.
Mr. Buffy?
Today's date.
Mr. Havison?
Here.
Mr. Quinn?
Here.
Ms. Sanchez?
Present.
Mrs. Canipico?
Here.
Mrs. Zottarelli?
Present.
Mr. Garrick?
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's today's date?
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. Dr. Katz, your report, please.
Sure, thank you. First thing I want to announce, is to recognize one of our new supervisors, Christine Steiner. Our New Jersey Department of Education developed a few years ago guidelines for preschool and kindergarten. We actually used some of those guidelines for our implementation of preschool and kindergarten, and what they're doing now is they're working with the National Institute for Early Education Research, which is affiliated with Rutgers, and they're creating guidelines for grades 1 through 3 in the state of New Jersey. They were looking for people to serve on a committee to help review and develop these guidelines, and Christine was selected to be a part of this committee. So she's serving along with 9 other administrators from Bergen, Passaic, and Essex counties, and she'll be working with both of these organizations. So it's really a great opportunity for Christine and outstanding way to represent our district. We started the park last week with all the other schools across the state of New Jersey, and really the biggest glitches were the weather. Between our snow days and our delayed openings and changes of schedules that were put into place, that was the most challenging thing. So it has gone very smoothly. Just to report out on our numbers of refusal letters, we have received 55 total across the district. About half of them have been in the high school, which is typical of what other districts have found across their districts as representation. Comparing a high school to the other schools, most of them have been in the high school. But there's districts who have upwards of 1,000, more than half students in their districts, and I've sent you a whole bunch of articles that show in that too. So really we have a pretty low refusal rate and high participation rate compared to what a lot of other districts are facing. There's a new law this year. I know everybody, we've talked about this a lot last year as far as having AEDs in each of the schools and making sure that we have procedures for the use of the defibrillators. One of the things that we're doing along with the implementation, well, it's not implementation, but the enactment of the law is conducting heart code drills in each of our schools. First, they're all being led by our nurses and our emergency teams. The first one was done at Long School. They're all being done initially after school at faculty meetings with adults only, and eventually we'll be conducting these drills during the school day when students are present. Before we do that, we'll be sending letters home to all the schools, all the parents, letting them know about the new law and about what those procedures are and what those drills will look like, so everybody will be informed before those begin. Another piece of recognition, these kind of weren't in any particular order tonight. Maybe I should have rearranged them, but that's okay. We recently approved, a couple of months ago on the agenda, we had approvals for teams from each school, from our I&RS teams, our intervention teams from each school to go to training at Kean University. They all went to that training, and I received a letter from Dr. Barry Mascari, who is an associate professor at Kean. He's the chair of the counseling education department, and he's the person who conducted the training. I just wanted to share the letter that I received from him because, well, for obvious reasons once I read it. It says, I wanted to send a brief note to thank you for dedicating the staff time and resources to have so many members of the team attend the I&RS training that we arranged for your district. The fact that so many people were able to attend the first day speaks highly to the district's commitment to its students. In the 10 years that I have been conducting the trainings, first for the Department of Education and now here at Kean, I have not seen a district with team members who were so enthusiastic. Words do not describe the level of dedication to the community and its students. The participants were the most knowledgeable and prepared of any that I have trained. So I really think that's important to share, to know how we're being represented by our staff, and also to recognize and commend the work of our staff. These are representatives from each of our schools that attended and who serve on these committees. So I think that's really, it's one thing for us to sit here and talk about the great things that we do, but it's a whole other thing for that to be recognized by others outside of the district. So I thought it was very important to share that. A couple weeks ago, Glen Rock Board of Education passed a resolution to sever our relationship with them as a wrestling team. So they've decided to go out on their own. The timing of it actually is probably better for us than it could ever be, because we have more freshmen participating in the program than we ever have before, and all of the freshmen that we had this year are actually very highly successful. So moving forward, we do have a plan to carry our own wrestling team. We don't think it will be an issue as far as numbers go, and a couple logistical items we'll have to work out as far as practice space and matches, because they were all at Glen Rock, so we'll find space within our district. But it's actually an exciting thing. I know Mr. Ryanell is very excited to be able to have our own team, and there's some students who hadn't been participating in the past who have already expressed to him that they wanted to, and part of the reason was they didn't really feel like going to Glen Rock. I mean, that's just what they said to him. We didn't want to go to Glen Rock every day, but if it's going to be here, we'll do it. So even though Glen Rock initiated that, we're really excited and enthused to be able to have our own wrestling team just made up of Saddlebrook students, so it should be a really good thing. Also in the athletics area, we were informed a couple of weeks ago a week ago, last week, by the County Parks Department that they now are going to be using us, or charging us, for the use of the baseball field at the county park. This is something that is new this year, apparently, whether it's townships or any of the county parks. So it's any county parks, whether it be, whatever schools are using it, whatever townships are using those parks all across Bergen County. There's a security deposit that they're asking for, and also a usage fee for each time that it's used. We were informed this about, like I said, last week, which is our baseball practices started today. So not a lot of notice before the start of this season. We did ask them to waive the fees for this year because of the timing. It's about $5,100 for each, $5,100 for the security deposit, and then $5,100 for the usage. So it's a total of $10,200 for us for the season. They did agree to waive the security fee. We're waiting to hear back from them on whether or not they'll waive the fee for the facility use. We can't really make any other arrangements for this year because of the timing, but now having this time, we're going to look into other options and see. We do have some fields of our own already. We don't know what it would cost to actually create another field here at the school, so we'll get some estimates. If it's unreasonable, obviously we can't do that, but there may be some other options. Washington School, the JV softball field at Smith, and I'm just throwing these things out there. Obviously, this just happened and it's all new, but we want to look around, and if we can get out of the county park system and start to use our own facilities in a way that isn't disruptive to any other teams or any other activities, then we'll like to do that. So over the next year, or several months, as we're planning ahead for the following season, we'll have more of those conversations, and we'll work through our Buildings and Grounds Committee to do that. So lots of times we hear parents at both formally and informally in different meetings talking about some of the challenges that they have with supporting their children at home with math homework. And it's come up a lot that I'm not sure how to do this, the math, and everyone uses the phrase new math, and it's not necessarily new math, it's the instruction's a little different. But anyway, long story short, on April 23rd, Chris Duval, our STEM supervisor, along with a group of teachers here in this room, are going to present an elementary parent math night. So we'll get flyers out and flyers home to start promoting that. It is the spring, so it is late in the year to do something like that, but people have been asking for it, so we didn't want to just keep waiting. So even though we're doing it in April, we probably will have another one in the fall at the beginning of the year, so that any parents who miss it can be exposed to it the following year and have that opportunity in the beginning of the school year. And then the last item is I just want to recognize all of our high school students who were part of the play this past weekend. The play was Damn Yankees, and they had 3 shows, and they were pretty well attended, and they did a great job. And I know I got some positive feedback from people on the show. So, and I was there yesterday. They did a great job. The sets look great. Mr. Ortega did a really wonderful job, and went really well. So I'm repeating the same thing over and over again, but I'm thanking them and recognizing that. All right. Any questions on any of those items?
Through the chair, I just have a question on the baseball field.
Sure.
If they don't waive that fee, we have no choice but to pay it this year.
Correct.
Does that mean we're still gonna maintain it, or are they going to maintain it?
We haven't really gotten that far, but yeah, well, the maintenance that we do typically during the season, the way it had worked in the past was that we lined the field, we dragged the field, that kind of thing during the season, and then we were allowed to use it for that reason. If we're paying for the field, I would imagine that we wouldn't do the maintenance on it because that's what you're paying for.
Okay.
But we haven't had that discussion. We're hoping that the fee gets waived. But yeah, if we're paying $5,000 to use the field, then the field should be ready for us to use.
Good.
Yes. Okay. To the agenda. Any questions on student services? Those all have explanations provided from Mr. Rowe. Okay. Section B, curriculum, there's nothing there, but we'll soon, in the next couple of months, we're going to have a few presentations on the new budget, on proposals that are in the budget for new textbooks, also reports on our assessment committee. So you'll be seeing Mrs. Steiner and Mr. Duval to do some presentations on the work that they've been doing this year. And so next is field trips and workshops. And then Mr. Karati is going to speak about items 3 through 7.
Okay, items 3 through 7. Item 3, I'll take one at a time, is back in November, the board approved the purchase of the school bus. This is the financing of it. We're going to be budgeted for, and we'll be leasing over a 3-year period. So this starts the lease documents and the lease over the 4 years. Item number 4 is a accounting transaction that's our auditors are requiring for the purchase of the school bus to record as a revenue, the lease, and then the corresponding payment. Item number 5 is a disposal of a 2006 Chevy utility vehicle. We've had this vehicle for several years, and we were having some issues with it with the engine. We thought we could, have it last a little longer, and it seized up on us, and it's beyond repair, or cost us too much to repair. So we've looked into purchasing another vehicle. So we have the next item, number 6, is the purchase of a used 2008 Dodge Sprinter, similar type utility vehicle that will be used in the maintenance department. And the final one, number 7, is, if you remember last month, we rejected the bids for the window replacement. This is part of the referendum to replace the windows at Franklin, the portion of windows at Franklin and Smith schools. We held the bid a second time. Still only one vendor, submitted a bid, and the bid is, overall, it's actually under our budget amounts for the project. So we're recommending to move forward with this project. The next one we're going to bid for is the bathrooms at the end of the month. So any questions on 3 through 7?
How much under budget was the windows?
We are, let's see, 15, I have a number there. I think it was about 15,000.
Yeah, wasn't it 24, right? Yeah, it's 24,000.
Oh, it was 15, I'm sorry, 15 for, I think it was 24, 24 altogether, because it was 60 for this. 24. Thank you.
No.
Committee reports?
Negotiations committee met today. We had our last meeting was snowed out. That was scheduled for Thursday. Our next meeting, which will be the first meeting with the teachers, is scheduled currently for the 30th. The rest I will give a report during closed session.
Okay. Budget?
Budget committee will meet on Wednesday. I'll give that report on Wednesday night.
Any other committee reports?
Well, just with regard to policy, I know we haven't had some meetings. We're still waiting for the updates from Strauss Esme on graduation requirements, and then our administrative team is meeting on March 31st to review some other policies. I know I spoke about those last month, so we'll put together a meeting. I'll reach out to you so we can meet sometime before our April meeting. Okay.
Correspondence? Any old business?
I have some brief updates on our goals. This time of year, there's not as much to update on the goals because most of them are either completed or already in progress and really just in the implementation stages of them. There was, as far as our professional development goal and our new teacher program, there was another meeting today for our new teachers, and they've reviewed their summative, the requirements that they'll need to fulfill for their summative evaluations, which are coming up in the next few weeks. And as far as our kindergarten goal, which is essentially just having a consistent implementation, we are looking at a new kindergarten screening tool. In the past, we've used something called the Phelps Readiness Scale, but we've looked into a few different models, and there's a lot of shortcomings with that. It provides very limited data, it doesn't have any parent input to it, and it doesn't access any social or emotional pieces. So we're going to be switching to something called the DIAL-4, which stands for the Developmental Indicators for the Assessment of Learning. It's very widely used and covers a lot more areas as far as motor, concepts, language, self-help development, and the social emotional. So we'll be conducting this in June. We'll be training our staff in May. And then we'll also have some days in July and August, because what hasn't happened in the past is we often get people who register very late for kindergarten and not during our kindergarten registration time, which was over the last few weeks. We had 55 students total in the district register, and we would anticipate having about double that by the time we start school. That's typically where we are. So we're also going to schedule sometime at the end of the summer so we can administer the assessment and get to know our students who are incoming, who happen to be late registrations. Otherwise, we're only meeting half of our students before they come into the school. So I have a little bit more information on this that I could forward to you, that Dave Rowe wrote up. It's a little bit of a study comparing a couple of the different models. Actually, I think I did share that with you, but I can share it again. And that's it.
Any other old business?
I think there's nothing else. Under old business, we have Wednesday, we're gonna have another training by New Jersey school boards right after our regular meeting. Finance, budget, and I think the CSA evaluation process. Mr. Annunziata will be going over with you. Then I'll hand out later, I have your individual board member credit sheets. I'll hand them out later. Other old business.
Wait, we need to pick a date for budget.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. New business?
Right.
We need to establish a meeting for a tentative budget. Budget's due to county office Friday, March 20th, so anytime really that week. We're looking at maybe the 18th. The budget committee is going to meet on the Wednesday 11th, so if any changes need to be made, I'll start with the 18th first. I'll just throw it out there.
It's fine. Is the 18th good?
I guess we'll start at 7 o'clock.
What date?
March 18th, Wednesday.
Wait, Gina said she
I'll
can't.
not make it, but that's okay. I mean, go down.
Well, do you want to look at a different night?
Is
Take a look at another night.
is
Is there-
Tuesday too early?
What's that?
I have
No,
a
Monday,
meeting-
I mean,
I have a meeting on
Tuesday?
Tuesday
That
night.
was
Yeah,
it?
Tuesday would work much better for me.
Okay,
James.
it's fine.
I have a meeting on Tuesday night. Unless we did it earlier. I don't know how long are we anticipating that meeting to be?
What time on the 18th? I'm sorry. We're not doing it.
No, we're trying to find another date.
We didn't
The
say a time
18th so
yet.
far, it's not going to work.
I have a meeting at 7:30 on Wednesday, on Tuesday rather, the 17th.
Well, we could start earlier if people can make it. It's typically 30 minutes. I mean, it's hard to say for
6:30.
sure, you never know. I can't put a time on it, but I'm just,
We did it 6:30 on the Tuesday, 6:30 on the Tuesday,
Fine with me.
17th, that's St. Patrick's Day,
That's
right?
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. I'm working that day. I won't be available that Tuesday.
Wednesday's no good?
Wednesday's fine.
Oh, Tuesday's no good for you?
I can rearrange Wednesday if I have to. That's the only day that's working.
Me?
Monday?
Monday works.
I can.
Monday, I'm fine. How about Monday?
No.
Monday works?
Monday now.
Monday? Monday,
The 16th.
Monday.
16th?
Is that a yes for everybody?
I'm good Monday.
Good for Monday?
Monday's fine.
So it's a week from tonight.
Monday works.
7 o'clock?
7?
7's good. 7 o'clock Wednesday, Monday, rather.
And
16th.
what is the estimated length of time this will probably take? 2
It's hard to
hours?
say. I mean, I said 30, 45 minutes. We will report on the figures and the highlights of the budget. It's a tentative adoption. It's not our formal adoption. It's our tentative adoption to submit to the
Okay.
county.
In this room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good. Monday.
Monday, 7 o'clock, 16th.
7 or 6:30? I thought,
7, right?
We said 7.
Monday the 16th at 7, okay, got it.
Any other new business?
I would just like to ask, I don't know if it's possible, but hopefully we will not need it anymore this year, but the last 2 years, we've had a lot of snow. And I think this only applies to Franklin School because I believe Smith and Long do not allow drop-off in front of the school or pickup, it's just a bus zone, whereas Franklin has drop-off along both sides of the school. Is there any way the custodians can do cutouts when they shovel? Because trying to drop kids off or pick them up where no place for them to get over the curb is horrendous.
Yeah, I know that was an issue. We actually worked with the DPW to try to move as much snow as possible because what happens is, and it is an issue at Smith and Long also, because we have very narrow streets.
Exactly.
And the snowbanks, when the sidewalks get shoveled, it gets pushed to that apron piece. And so car doors don't open on that side. I understand that. We moved as much snow as we could this year, but I know that it's been a challenge, I think, for a very long time. We could try to create little paths, I guess,
Every,
a
maybe
certain number of feet and so
number
on.
of feet, just so that they can, because they're just stopping in the middle now, and you have two-way traffic, cars parked on
No, I
both
know.
sides, bus, it's
Right.
a nightmare.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Any other new business? May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Does anyone wish to be heard?
Thank you. Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue. Once again, I'm here. First, I would like to ask the chair, is there any way why you don't open the meeting to the public at the beginning no more to discuss items on the agenda or make comments at least?
On Wednesday, we'll open it before.
Oh, just on Wednesday? Okay. The reason I was saying that is if you can just consider opening the work session, so maybe before you guys gather here, is maybe some comments from the floor that it might come. But first and foremost, before I go to the agenda, I would just like to say that I'm on here and I will continue coming here in order to make a difference and improvement in the school district. It's nothing against teachers. I think it's the administration that is not spending the money properly, and over I will prove it. As we might go along, there are better ways to, I guess, spend the money. I don't see nothing, and I hope to see in the next few months at least some discussion on items that are being brought up, like, an example, sharing services with the town. At the end of the day, it comes out of the same taxpayers' money. Why do we have to have two sets of crews? Not to lay off anyone, I will repeat myself, because I said it before, but by attrition, we can just accomplish a lot more with less money. Because as we might be aware, health insurance, pension costs is going up a skyrocket, and 5 years from now, it will be even a bigger issue. So if we start planning from now, in the medium term or long range, it will be helpful. Also, before I start, I would just like to say that the reason I leave before, it is my prerogative. I leave whenever I want. No one can force me to stay, but it was funny that I see someone chasing me at the last meeting, that I should stay, that if I say something right here, that I should stay for your response. And I said it to you, Mr. President, that I do not like the change of strategy, if you want to call it, that I don't get the rebuttal or the response that the people are looking at the podium. And therefore, as a protest, once I finish talking, I just leave, because you guys don't want to give an answer, and I will repeat my questions until I hear it. Don't take me wrong, but again, that is my prerogative, and no one can just tell me what to do and what not to do. By the way, last time I mentioned 8355. That should be for discussion. Sometime soon, if Sutter Brook is going to participate, it's a law. Governor Christie signed on, and I'm eager to find out if Sutter Brook is going to be part of the program. You gotta discuss as a team right here with the legal team if it's in the best interest of Sutter Brook or not. This law pertains to the students that they can just attend any school district. And the question is, and I will ask again, do we have to pay for the transportation, or the state will pay for the transportation if we have to transport students from here to another school district within 20 miles? So that should be the type of discussion. I think that it should be coming to the work session. Well, I'm going to put another bill that will be interested, that my good friend just put it through. Usually it's for those unscrupulous attorneys, boards, that have been trying to stop the public from speaking out their mind, and it's the 83505. It's called SLAPP, SLAPP. Just passed the Assembly, is on its way to the Senate, and it's to prevent any lawsuits against anyone that speaks out their mind at any meeting in the state of New Jersey. That should be some homework to do. Going back to the agenda, we'll refer to item number 3. And I'm confused, through the chair, if I can just mention to Mr. Kurati. He just mentioned, and asked one of the questions that I was going to bring in no matter what, but he just confused me more tonight. He just said that it was approved back in November, a purchase. And then he just referred to 3-year lease, but then he says that it's a 4-year lease of a bus, for whatever reason. My question tonight is, whatever the issue or whatever transpired from a purchase that was approved to a lease, now that we're doing a lease, is going to cost us, the district, $100,000 in 4 years. After 4 years, we'll just have to return the bus. What are the benefits of leasing and purchasing? The reason I'm saying that, everybody might disagree with me in the sense that after 4 years, the car have no value, but I believe by the same token, just right here in the same agenda, I can prove you wrong, because yes, it will have value. Because right now we are purchasing a 7-year-old Dodge Sprinter for $19,500. My understanding is that the same van, brand new, equipped, full, loaded, it costs around $45,000. This is a 7-year-old purchase that we're making. So I don't know the guarantee, 6 months, a year, whatever, but still it's going to be used. Going back to what I was just referring now was item number 6, but I will go back to item number 3. Wouldn't it be proper to purchase the bus and then at the end of the day, the district will have something that they own? Just food for thought. I think that instead of leasing, it's $100,000. You should go for purchase. And if he was approved for purchase in November, you should go for a purchase. But I don't know what is behind it, in the sense behind it and what are the benefits or negatives against it. Also, I just see that the disposal of the 2006 Chevrolet, it was just mentioned that the engine is not good. If the engine is not good, I'm just saying, if the engine is not good, another option might be, because we are going to replace it with a 2008 Dodge. If we're going to spend $19,500, would it be just proper to put a new engine on the 2006? If it's the engine just a problem, would it be cheaper? Just food for thought. Because on just this page about engines, I don't know. Even though that is not my cup of tea, but by what I'm reading right here, it might not be the best investment. And also line item 7, I got a question. I read the bid. My question, if I may, is why are we looking for aluminum windows? Why it can't just be vinyl? And that might be one of the reasons why we just got one bidder. Why don't we just try to open it up and try to select? Everybody use vinyl everywhere. Why are we going back days, to the old times and look for aluminum? Not just even that it might be cheaper, but it's safer and it's what everybody uses now. Through the chair, may I have any comments, any answers on that through the chair? If anyone is familiar with this,
We'll answer all your questions at the end, Mr. Rodriguez.
All right. And I guess when I left, I don't know if any, I'm going to bring it up again, that we have a building and grounds supervisor. The position was $90-something thousand. But my question was, why did we have to create a stipend of $20,000 that we didn't have it before? Why? When the position is not there, I don't think that we are in the business of opening new positions. Because at the end of the day, then that position that it goes, whether it's 92 or 95 or 100,000, you got to add up that stipend of $20,000. And again, I don't have nothing against whoever got the stipend. My problem is, again, administration. Instead of spending more on teachers, books, training, seminars, whatever, we are spending on administration. And that has to stop. Status quo should not be allowed no more about yes man, no man, no. Everything got to be questioned. Everything got to be questioned. And I questioned before about the employee that was accepted for 3 months. He didn't come to work. And 3 months later, we take that same person for $52,000 a year, plus pension, plus benefits, plus. If we need someone so desperate, why we didn't re-advertise again? On the other hand, if we don't need him for 3 months, we were doing the job, why do we have to hire the person? There is time for us to start thinking on how to save money to the taxpayers. We got to start thinking more about the children in the classrooms, with the teachers. If they need a better pay, that's fine, but not in administration. I'm all against the administration and misspending. And now, I would like to bring something new to you. I would like to ask if there is any form, any forms in the district for all of you guys, including the professionals. If there is any form that says that whomever you are dealing with or doing business is not a relative of yours, because that might be criminal. So I would like to pose the question to the president, that if any of you, past, present, and of course it should be the future also, members, that they should disclose if there's any business that the school district is doing with any of the relatives. That is dangerous. And at one point that becomes criminal. Some of you know what I'm talking about. So I would like that to be presented to the legal department, and I believe that it should be a disclosure form in which every one of you should sign off and say it, that they will disclose if any of you will have any interest with any company that will do business, company or business that will do business with the school district. And by the way, it could work vice versa, that the vendors that are going to come to do business, they should disclose if they got any relatives sitting right here as a voting member. Because I got news for you pretty soon. I will have news. Also, I would like to request that the payments, all the payments, since you receive it on a tablet now, digital, all the payments that are made to any vendor or anyone, it should be for public perusal. Therefore, I'm requesting respectfully to be posted online as part of the minutes or the agenda or the package that you receive it digital now. I believe that is nothing private on that, and it should be posted so everybody can take a look at it. Whoever is interested, they should read it online if they wish to. But right now, my understanding is not. All the bills, the monthly bills, the $1.3 million, 1.2, 1.4, whatever we pay a month, because it varies a little bit every month, everything should be online. That's a formal request, if I may. Just got one more thing, I guess. This is for Thursday. Just one last comment. Is there any way, and I never mentioned, I think, when someone makes an Oprah request, and I believe the superintendent mentioned it before. No, actually, it was the business administrator that mentioned it. Oprah, anyone, whether they live in Saddlebrook or not, whether they live in the state or not, anyone can request an Oprah, a reporter, whomever, stating no reason. That is the law. And that is not an abuse of the system. That was created, or actually was passed, to prevent anything suspicious, and whoever is doing the right thing, it should be not afraid of any audit or any request. Actually helps, if anything. And I don't want to go by the list that since I start coming, things that you guys have changed, and again, and a nobody. But all I want is that you do right for the children. Thank you very much all. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard? May I have a motion to close the meeting to the public? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're going to move into closed session. May I have a motion to move into closed session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? To recess to closed executive session to discuss personnel, contract negotiations, and matters covered by the attorney-client privileges per NJSA 10:4-6, etc. Open Public Meetings Act, the Subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken when the board reconvenes in open session.